I
But
heard you. I heard you rehearsing.
look, I was not rehearsing, but Donovan and I, we were chit chatting before the show as we do, and it seems though we are on different sides of the Jimmy Butler plane. And for me, I mean, Jimmy Butler, I think is acting frankly ridiculous. And I think that this is a situation with Jimmy Butler. It's not the first, it's not the second, it's not even the third time we've seen him do this, where he's unhappy with the play of his team, the team that in this case, especially, he is the leader of, and he throws a hissy fit in the media and in the locker room and requests a trade. And then he's now going on social media and acting like a baby and throwing a temper tantrum, acting like the victim for having repercussions of his own actions. I mean, this is the fourth time that Jimmy Butler has tried to force himself out of a city, out of a franchise, and the third time that he's done it for a team that he forced himself to. And he takes no accountability. He's saying, "Oh, I'm not having fun playing basketball." And he's complaining about the team that he's on, the team that he chose to go to, the team that he is the leader of. And if you ask me, I think part of the issue with his last couple stops is that he's no longer the guy now. He's not the team's leading scorer. He's really not even the face of the team anymore. I mean, Tyler Hero, I think, is having a. I'm not even a Tyler Hero fan. I don't even like Tyler Hero. But Tyler Hero's play this season has far blown Jimmy Butler's out of the water. Jimmy Butler is having the worst year of his career since he's become a starter. And he's crying about it. I mean, he wants out. And I think it's ridiculous the way that he's going about it, and also just going on social media now and acting like he's some victim in all of this when he's just reaping the rewards of his own actions. I mean, it's frankly ridiculous, if you ask me.
I feel for Jimmy Butler. That
There's
just
no way you
shows
feel for Jimmy
I
Butler.
feel for Jimmy Butler due to the fact that the last two stops. Okay, if we're going to talk about Minnesota, the reason why he mainly left Minnesota is because he did. Carl Anthony Towns was not the player that he is now, and Andrew Wiggins was not the player that he was during that run against Golden State. If we're talking about the 76ers, Ben Simmons was a definite factor. Daryl Morey decided to pay Tobias Harris the money that they could have gave Jimmy. That's why during that game 4 against the Sixers back in 22, he was screaming, going back into the locker room, Tobias Harris over me. There's a reason why he left. He was being undervalued. He didn't mind being the second guy to Embiid. He understood that this was Joel Embiid's team. But outside of that, he was the only help during that playoff run. What did Tobias Harris or Ben Simmons do during that playoff run against the Brooklyn Nets or the Toronto Raptors? If you can prove me that, I will 100% agree. Yes, he's the problem. Pat Riley was 100% right. But if we're talking the Miami Heat right now from 2019-2020 bubble season up to now, Heat culture is dead. There is no Heat culture. Heat culture is depending on a star to take you to that glory land when he doesn't have the teammates around him to help. Bam Adebayo has not been playing well this year. He was on a tear last year. I will give you that. Jimmy Butler got hurt at the end of the year. Jaime Jaquez had a great end of the year. He had a decent game against the Boston Celtics in game 1 during that opening round series. Tyler Hero, he did what he needed to do during that bubble series as well as a rookie. But outside of those 3 players, we want to see the rest of the notable Heat signings, free agency wise or trade wise, since 2020. Max Strus, Caleb Martin, Goran Dragic, Victor Oladipo, Terry Rozier, who doesn't do anything so far, Nikola Jovic, DeLon Wright, Josh Richardson, Thomas Bryant, who decided to hit threes the minute he left Miami. Pele Lawson, Zion Pullen, and Khalil Ware with who they drafted so far this year, who's mainly going to be a lob threat from what I've seen him play. Jimmy Butler has had no
Did you just
help.
call Khalil Ware a lob threat?
I saw him do a crazy dunks against the.
Yeah, are you talking about 43% from 3 shooter Khalil Ware, who shoots from all over the court? Donovan, is that who we're talking about?
My apologies to Khalil Ware. He's a shooter as well.
You're not familiar with his game, clearly.
I was able to watch a game against
But
I saw him ball out. But let me continue my point. With that supporting crew that he has had during those 5 years, they were a 1 seed. They made it to the finals twice. Once as an 8 seed, the first time in NBA history that has happened since this was the first time in NBA history that an
Wasn't it
8
the
seed made it
Knicks?
to
no, the Knicks,
No,
the
the
Knicks
Knicks
did
did
it
it.
in
second time
99.
then. All right,
Knicks
my
did it.
apologies.
Knicks did it.
Second time in NBA history since the 90s with an 8 seed making it to the NBA finals. And he was the main person to make this happen. During his span with the Miami Heat, 2019-2020, he averaged, we want to talk about points, we can talk about points per game. I'm down to do that. So far, he played 33 minutes a game. He was shooting 45 from the field his first year in Miami. He balled out during that bubble playoff series against the Indiana Pacers, against the Bucks, against the Boston Celtics. And he did everything he could to bring that team to Game 6. That's why we have that infamous photo of him literally drained of all of his energy trying to keep this team afloat. Then we look at 2021, the comeback year. That team went to the first seed. He was 21 points per game scored. The 2019-2020, 19 points per game.
He
21-22,
He
21
stunk
points per
in
game.
that year in the playoffs.
22-23, 22 points per game. 23-24, he got injured at the end of the year, 20 points a game. And right now, 17 points a game because he's unhappy. They haven't made any moves. They were supposed to get Damian Lillard last year. Why did that not happen? They didn't want to trade away Tyler Hero. There was talks in 2019 of other stars trying to come in. Kevin Durant completely avoided the Miami Heat for some reason. LeBron only stayed there for his couple of years. I get that he wanted to go back to Cleveland, but that was an ugly ending as well. And he didn't have his fun times with him and Pat Riley were at each other's necks outside of the 2 times when they won a championship. Pat Riley and star players outside of Dwayne Wade, who was drafted there, have multiple occasions of just having disdain for Pat Riley. He's not the GM that you go to for a team. And I get the Heat culture, but the Heat culture is built around a star and a bunch of other role players outside of the Heatles from 2010 to 2014 when they had the big 3 of LeBron, D Wade, and Chris Bosh. But outside of that, what is Heat culture?
Donovan, you're just circling the drain on the point though, right? I mean, you say that the only one that it worked for was Dwayne Wade, who Dwayne Wade was there for what 45% of the Heat's franchise history. And you talk about, there's a history of players being unhappy with Pat Riley. There's even a bigger history of Jimmy Butler being unhappy with teams. Jimmy Butler doesn't like where he goes anywhere he goes. He goes there, right? He has a little honeymoon phase where the team does well, right? And then he has like a good playoff series. And then all of a sudden things start to stink up. Notably, Jimmy's averaging 17 points per game, which is the lowest he's averaged in over a decade. He's having a stinker of a year by his standards. He's not playing defense the way that he used to. He's getting old. The tires are falling off. And guess what? He's unhappy because he can't lead his team to wins. And all of a sudden, it's now on the team. It's not on the star player. He's one of the only players in the NBA that does this. He's the player that does it the most. He has a problem. He is a habitual trade requester. It's nasty, dude. Damian Lillard didn't do this, right? Luka Doncic, he struggled to get wins. He didn't do this. Devin Booker, it took him so long to get to the finals. He didn't do this, right? No, I mean, why is Jimmy Butler the only one that has requested a trade out of every stop he's been to? It's him and it's James Harden.
So you're telling, first off, what you saying that Tyler Hero is the face of the Heat was absolutely blasphemous as well. But we're just not gonna talk about that point. But Jimmy Butler doing what he's done for the last 5 years, he's been able to take this team to the finals and carry. But now all of a sudden it's his fault for not being happy here since he has no other support. It's crazy to me.
He's not good enough. That's the problem that he has. He's not good enough to get it done. And he doesn't want people to realize that. He wants to blame it on the team when he's not that guy. He had one lucky finals appearance in a very, very easy East that year. In a season surrounded with COVID where half the players missed half the years with COVID. outside of that, Jimmy Butler's playoff success, he has not led a team to the finals in that manner.
So 20. Which year's the lucky year? 22
When he went to the finals,
and
which was
22.
22.
Oh, okay. Rap show. Rap show.
Yeah, I